Uruguay are ranked 17, the best in the group, while Egypt are way down at 48. And that's when Salah was playing. The Egyptians have been poor on the road, like, for example, going to Russia, and only won one of their 4 qualifying matches against the aforementioned opposition. So that suggests that Egypt really have problems playing away, and so they'll be far weaker in Russia. They qualified on the strength of their very good home record. So we can see from Betfair that Uruguay are the favourites, and pretty strong favourites. I only have a very small bet on them at the moment, though I'll be following the match essentially. So, I'm hoping that if nothing happens for like 15-20 minutes, I might be able to back Uruguay to win at like better odds, 1.8. Maybe can I get up to 2? I didn't get to do that in the Russia match today because Russia scored too early. But I don't think there's great value here. I do think the Uruguay will win, but as I said, at 1.6, that's near fair value. So we can see nearly all the money has been bet on Uruguay, so everyone expects them to win. We'll know when the game starts whether Salah actually plays. I imagine, my guess, and it's a guess because I have no magical information, but my impression was that he is injured. I'd hope that they wouldn't rush him, chuck him in and end up getting him injured again. It'd be better to, I would have thought, rest him, hope that he gets better for the second or third game, except that you're most likely going to lose to Uruguay. I think even if Salah is playing, I'd say Uruguay would still win. So we'll see. I think Uruguay should top the group. That's my preferred bet because I think I'm more confident about that. In any given game, there's a lot of noise. So football is semi-predictable, which is what makes it interesting. If you knew what team was going to win, then it would be kind of boring. So as it is, what can happen is goals can be I suppose we have VAR now, so I was going to say you can have goals given offside which weren't offside, or offside not given when the goal was offside, so we'll see how VAR works. But you can have, essentially you end up, and that's what you're trying to do as a manager and as a team, you end up with your players taking shots and hoping to score. You might take shots from further away, which are harder to defend against. So, you can get many shots from outside the box, but the further you go away from the goal, the less chance you have of actually scoring. So people have studied that and they know, and you also know from the angle. So if you're in a more acute angle, you might need like 20 shots to get a goal, while if you're right in the box, you might only need 2 or 3. So you're trying to end up with a situation where you end up with an easy chance, and even then you typically need 2, 3, 4 of them to get a goal. And that's luck. That's randomness. You'll have often heard managers complaining about how they did everything right. They followed the plan. They followed the strategy. And they ended up having 30 shots, and yet they didn't score. And the other team took one long-range shot and ended up with a goal. That happens all the time. So that's what makes football so hard to predict. So that's why I don't really like backing a result when the odds are so low. So if I'm saying, oh, I think Uruguay are going to win, yeah, but 1.6 is pretty low. I mean, the 1.6 is you're it's just, it doesn't look like great value to me. Is basically it. I'm far more confident about, say, backing Uruguay to top the group, because you're talking about 3 matches. So you can have, I don't know, you might have one bad game, but then you'll have to really up it and you win the other 2. So over 3 games, and historically we've seen that over 3 games, the best rated team does tend to top the group. So that's something which you can analyze and predict with far greater accuracy than any one game. I was happy to back Russia to beat Saudi Arabia, basically on the strength that I felt that Saudi Arabia were a very weak side. They nicely passed the ball around, but they didn't have any threat. So I was more confident betting on Saudi Arabia to lose than just, I think that Russia are an amazing side. So likewise, I'd be very confident that Uruguay will beat Saudi Arabia. I am pretty confident they'll beat Egypt, because again, Egypt's rating I just looked at it, wasn't it 46 or something? So Egypt are, and that's when Salah has been in the side. So Egypt are also a very weak side, and Uruguay are a very strong one. So I wouldn't be against adding to backing. Actually, I won't just mention it. I will add a bit more, because I wasn't able to add to the Russia bet today because they scored too early. There's a good chance that might happen again tomorrow. What I could do is also look at maybe backing Uruguay to win by more than a goal. But I think that overcomplicates things. And at the moment, I just want to gradually get into this World Cup. So there'll be many games tomorrow. The Morocco game looks interesting as well. This is the game, I think, where it's easiest to say who's going to win. I think most Uruguay are the best bet is the game that I'm most confident that I can name the winner. Then we can haggle about the price. So, okay, maybe 1.6. I would like it if I could get it at 1.8. But look, it's 1.6. I mean, that's 60% profit. Just like that. And I could bet up to 30,000 euro on that. So I could make a decent enough amount of money. My second tip, match-wise, is Uruguay to beat Egypt. I have got bets at 1.8 and maybe higher. If I get the opportunity, it might be worth looking into the over under 2.5 goals. I think the way Uruguay play, I mean, they do have Cavani and Suarez, so, and they have tended to score a lot of goals, so there could be many goals scored. But one thing at a time. Second tip is Uruguay to beat Egypt.